Today, I want to teach you a tool that has been very helpful in leaders helping other leaders become better at what they do. It's a tool that requires some vulnerability, it requires trust, it requires focus by the leaders involved in this. But those who've done it have really benefited from it. It's based on Proverbs 27, verse 17. It says, as iron sharpens iron, one man, one woman sharpens another. And we're helping teams sharpen one another. So I'd like to share this with you today. Imagine that you have a ministry update meeting. Typically, this is a longer meeting, not an hour or 2 hours, but perhaps an all-day meeting where you have set aside time to hear from each other, to get personal ministry and coaching and project reports. What I'm going to show you is a diagram of how to walk through this. The meeting begins, first of all, with three types of people: the facilitator, the speaker, and the listeners. The facilitator's job is to keep discussions on track. Some people love to talk, and they will take much more than their time. And so it's the facilitator's job to actually keep time, to make sure the person who's speaking knows they don't have an hour. They've got just a few minutes, 10 minutes or so, to share an update from their ministry. Now, in some cultures, it's not a good idea to put a time limit on things because everyone's heard the voice of God. But the thing is that hopefully they've heard the voice of God to honor the rest of the team by being brief and being Christ-centered in what they share. So the facilitator's job is to keep the discussion on track, to assign a note taker, someone who can write down needs and prayer requests and other things, and to keep things on time. They begin the conversation with prayer. The entire team prays for each other. And then the facilitator asks a speaker to share their thoughts and to maybe have some questions that need to. The whole goal is for them to be sharpened. And you notice there's numbers. The facilitator has the number 1 and the speaker has numbers 2, 3, 4, and 8. That's because I'm going to show you a number of boxes that each have numbers to them. And it shows which one is responsible for each one. So number 1, the facilitator opens up things in prayer. And then number 2, the speaker gives a personal update, how things are going in their personal walk with Christ, in the ministry, in their family. And they begin to talk about some conflicts, some relational things, some difficulties that they may need to resolve or may need prayer for. Once they finish the personal update, they give a status of the ministry update. What are you excited about? What successes are you having? And then they share some obstacles, just the opposite. What are the obstacles in the field? Obstacles in multiplication of disciples or churches. This is where the third party begins to step in. The listeners have been listening to the personal update, the status of the ministry. They've been listening to the obstacles. And our tendency is to become the expert in that moment. But we don't want to do that yet. Instead, we want to take a couple of other steps, steps 5, 6, and then 7, to engage with our speakers. So the first is to celebrate with them the things that are personal and things in ministry that are going well. We want to actively listen to what's happening, participate by celebrating and saying, thank you for sharing those things. And then we want to ask some clarifying questions about the obstacles, about the difficulties, about the conflicts. Questions that help you as the listener better understand the situation the speaker is actually in. A lot of times we give advice without understanding the whole context of the situation. So you may want to say, well, tell me more about what's happening between you and this other leader. Or tell me, what are some of the reasons why you think it's not working? What have you tried already? And so you want to create this dialogue between the speaker and the listeners. And you don't want just one listener to ask questions. We want several people in the group to ask questions. If you're the only one asking questions, you probably need to stop and take a breath and make sure others have the opportunity to speak and to ask questions as well. Once you've encouraged the speaker, once you've asked clarifying questions and you know that you understand the situation, it's then that you make suggestions from your experience, from to give them principles or tools that you've used, times you've made mistakes and you've learned from those things, practices that may help the speaker do the right thing. Once again, we started with the facilitator starting with prayer, and then we did the speaker's personal updates, status of ministry, sharing obstacles. The others listening in the room got involved by encouraging the speaker, asking clarifying questions, and making suggestions. But now we turn back to the speaker and we ask them, give us a couple of takeaways or some immediate steps that you might do in the next 30 days. In other words, what is your plan? And again, the facilitator's job is to do all of this in a short period of time to make sure that many people, if not everyone in the group, gets the opportunity to share personal update and status of ministry. You may decide that there's not enough time to do that, and you just need to say ahead of time as the facilitator, listen, we've got 10 people in the room. We have time for about 5 updates in this meeting, and next month or next time, we'll get updates from the others in the group. This iron to iron really does sharpen people, and I pray this will be a useful tool for you as you move forward, helping each other advance the gospel and move forward in ministry.